This is a picture of our founding president, Sheikh Zayed, just an expression of appreciation of the Great Wall.
Yes.
During his visit in 1990, he visited the Great Wall during spring and really beautiful.
He was in high spirit,
Yeah,
I could tell.
he's enjoying it. He's
Yes.
really, he just been hearing and reading about the Great Wall everywhere. So he had to witness the Great Wall over with his own eyes.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, he enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
Another photo which is
Oh.
similar over here, our Crown Prince, the son of our founding president, during the time he was visiting also China, he chose to visit the Great Wall.
It looks so familiar, this place.
Yes, it's the same position of,
okay.
of founding president. He chose to have the same position. Of course, this was during winter time, and you can see it looks like a drawing because it's just a different look. Mountain is a little bit cold and freezing, and he has to, of course, we have to borrow him a nice jacket to keep him warm.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had a great time too.
He enjoyed himself. He really indeed enjoyed himself, and he liked the visit to the Great Wall. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Great Wall many times?
Yes, I did. I did.
Tell me more about it.
I have visited many parts of the Great Wall, but my favorite is the wild part.
Jianqiao.
Jianqiao, yes.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it very much. This is really a nice photo where it shows there's a chemistry between both
True.
leaders. They are sharing smiles.
One could imagine the conversation they had.
It's a confident trust, and you can say, looking forward. We trust. Let's work together. that's the message over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it seems that you have a lot of work going on.
Yeah.
Especially this.
This is keeping us busy. We are now in the countdown of less than 100 days. It's exciting time. More than 190 countries are coming.
Expo.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting bringing up more than 190 countries together. There's a lot of things will be happening over there. Keeping us busy, but keeping us excited. Looking forward.
Centennial anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party, the ruling party. Tell me more, Mr. Ambassador, after working here and interact with your Chinese counterparts very intensively over your tenure here, what's your impression about the ruling party in this country, and how is it having an impact on the policies and the relations between China and your country?
Let me start by offering my deep congratulations to the ruling party and to the Chinese leadership for such an amazing and extraordinary achievements, and celebrating the 100 years of anniversary of the Communist Party. With no doubt, if someone look at the history of China and what challenges China has been going through, from ups and downs and difficulties, turning out this sizable population in terms of being a burden to be as a great natural resources, and empowering the country to achieve so much objectives and so much goals. To me, it's incredible. It's amazing to witness and see the stages of changes this great country been going through.
What about for you? I mean, when you are working here, living here in this country, and your family as well?
To witness a great achievement, it's in fact extraordinary. And of course, a lot of time remind me of my own country. Everybody look at UAE as it is one of the most advanced and the most modern country in our part of the world. But it didn't come overnight. It didn't come without a lot of determination and challenges. Period of time, my country, before the discovery of oil, it used to be very humble country where we don't have no medical care and no schools, no all means of a human being requirements. So going through that, not myself, but my father, for example, have been going through this. And looking at what China has been going through, I can see what does it mean for my fellow Chinese to have such a celebration. My country is celebrating this year also our 50th anniversary, and that's a milestone for us at the same time. So when I look back what we have been going through in my own country and seeing what China is going through also, an achievement has been done, I can see there is, although we are thousands of miles apart, but I can see there is kind of synergies or kind of the same commitments and passion, aspiration from both countries' leadership. What's the most impressive, Chen Wei, that there is a strong belief on the leadership from the Chinese people, and the party. What is very impressive, and I was reading in many documents, although on the early stage they could be, when debating what could be the strategy and what could be the approach, I'm very positive there are many different opinions come up, and many topics come up during what's the next step, what's the pathway to take, what's the strategy to take. But at the end, when the leadership decide and the majority decide this is the pathway we will take. So what is really most impressive, the belief, the strong belief on the leadership and the collective bonds of working together to achieve the objectives put in by the leadership, by the Communist Party, and all who are involved in making decisions.
I can tell you are a very seasoned observer of China's governance and also the realities in this country, Mr. Ambassador. Let's move on to the bilateral relations, China and UAE. We've seen over the past few years particularly, and I have to say it really coincides with your tenure here, the relationship really soared, even at the most difficult time of the pandemic. Tell me more about where is the stage that you see this relationship is now?
First, let me start, Chen Wei, that I'm really fortunate to witness such a rapid progress in our bilateral relationship. And I say fortunate because after being over here in China, I started in 2017, late 2017. In the year 2018, I witnessed a historical state visit of President Xi Jinping to the UAE. That visit has created, let's say, a major step in terms of bilateral relationship by achieving comprehensive partnership between both countries. The following year, another state visit by our Crown Prince and Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, who has taken an upgrading of that comprehensive partnership between both countries into a higher level, and where both leaders put a target to achieve from nowadays around 50 billion trade, non-oil trade between both countries, to 200 billion trade, bilateral trade between both countries by 2030. For some people will look at these figures will say how they can come up with this. They are so confident because by working together, by being focused and looking into where they will take both countries' trade and business, they can see they are able to do it.
Like how?
Of course, there's a strong foundation to start up with. There's a trust, there's a confidence, and there's a mutual interest between both countries' leadership, and there is a strong foundation has been built long time ago. Our founding president, Sheikh Zayed, he came in the early 90s. And he was among, from our region, among the first leaders in that capacity to come to China. Okay. And he met the leadership. To express his appreciations, he went to the Great Wall. Having that vision from our founding president and seeing where China will go and what China means for the world, that takes a vision, and it takes a leadership long-term sight. Establish this, we have established at the same time and a center of Arabic studies center coinciding at the University of Foreign Studies. That shows sharing our over here, sharing, contributing with our fellow Chinese, and to share where we want to take this bilateral relationship. Education, cultural exchange, more advancing the relationship in terms of innovation, technology, science, research. It's not only about it's not about politics. It's more about commercial, economics, building cultural relationship. It's more long-term partnership, and where it's adding value. Of course, the Belt and Road Initiative has complement the vision of both leadership to take it even deeper and further, and to create great connectivity.
Let me comb through some of these points, Mr. Ambassador, you just mentioned. The latest health, particularly about the vaccine regarding COVID-19. I understand that with your leadership of the embassy, you've been working very closely with the Chinese side. There's even joint cooperation about the trials of the vaccines, and also about joint production of the vaccines back in the UAE that are originally coming from China. So tell me more about where are we now in terms of this cooperation? What does UAE aspire to be as a result of this cooperation in your region?
Let me start. The pandemic been a world challenge, and to combat such a challenge, you need a collective international community efforts. So UAE and China, that was actually a test opportunity to see where this model of very close relationship can take this challenge. And
I like that word, test of opportunity.
This is true. At the early stage, when China had been impacted by the pandemic, UAE did not stand still. There has been phone calls and communication with the leadership expressing solidarity. Our landmarks in the UAE been dressed by the Chinese flag and putting phrases of Wuhan Jiao and many signs, expression of solidarity. Not only this, whatever possibly we can supply, we can provide in terms of medical support and so on. We have taken that step because we know at that stage of time the pandemic has stretched the medical in China, which has come so quickly, so fast, the spread of the pandemic. With that, and then the relationship has developed further. UAE, the pandemic started spreading around, and of course UAE has to take a lot of measures to prevent and to take measures to ensure the safety of our people. So here in that sense, where China stepped in to provide their support. So the vaccine is only what they call, you can say, on the top of the cherry on the top of the cake, okay? Because that's a challenge, and the vaccine has it shows the model of the relationship between our both countries, and the vaccine built again based on trust, based on confidence on the medical care and the technology of China.
Looking at the bigger picture, which you prefer to, the Middle East as a region, and also the rise of China, as well as the transformation of economies and system in the Middle East, how much opportunities does it really create for the synergy between the two countries? Now, when you look at it in retrospective way, but also forward-looking way, because the world, as we speak, are changing very fast.
Again, we share the same principles and values. China looking forward in terms of advancing green economy, digital economy, addressing climate change, seeking less confrontation, more in terms of sharing values, sharing partnership. These are matching UAE's principles. Okay. We like to see stability. We like to see peace around the world. We like to see less interference in each country. And of course, UAE, this is the UAE, how we look forward and how we like to see ourselves. And we found China think the same like us. And China sees us as a model country to work with. And we look at China as a model country to work with. Our location, our geographical location, and our, let's say, very sound, well-established infrastructure in terms of our ports and our facilities has made it, being part of the MENA region, it's a great place to connect with the UAE, between China and the UAE in terms of re-export, in terms of being a hub for many business people in China to establish themselves in the UAE and see that part of the market and to penetrate in the market. And that doesn't come overnight. It comes based on long-term partnership being established and trust, repetition of a relationship. There is a strong foundation.
But the world is changing fast, Mr. Ambassador, as you may know very well, probably many of us, more than any of us. There is much more geopolitics, one could argue. There is more about the region of the Middle East, where is it going to be, with some of the major powers tend to change their presence in the region. Who are the new players going to be? And all of these are bigger questions. Of course, you are not dealing with them every day, but it's in the background of your work. So how do you see that, Mr. Ambassador?
We should be very focused on looking to see the future of our youth. We have to pay attention. What's the added value for our young generations to see themselves addressing their needs, their requirements, to meet the advancement of science and technology. There's a lot of things we need to pay attention to, rather looking into other geopolitical issues. I think we need to see what's in it for us, how we can move forward together as the whole world. I'm not talking about only China and the UAE.
Talking about added value, which is a favorite word, I think, from our conversation. Yeah. What about the World Expo? Many people are looking forward to it. I know your home country has been preparing for it in such a challenging way because of the pandemic, but still stick to its ultimate outcome. Tell me more about the preparation now.
There is tremendous efforts been put in by our colleagues in UAE, and we are very thankful for the trust of more than 190 countries to participate at Expo. Now we are already in the less than 100 days countdown. It will start, in fact, from 1st of October, coincidentally coinciding with the Chinese National Day. It's
till the next year.
Yes, and it will go to end of March. It will be exciting time. It will be a reflection of, again, science, technology, innovation, bringing together many countries together under in one area, which is sending a message of harmony, peace. It will be really a fantastic 6 months, and it's very exciting. China participating with a very sizable pavilion, which is more than 4,600 square meter, and this pavilion will be in a pavilion where sending a message of where China has been reached in its technology advancements in very cultural manner.
Mr. Ambassador, what a pleasure. I hope our conversation will continue in future opportunities.
Thank you so much, Tanway. Good to have you over here.
Thank you for inviting me to this beautiful embassy. Really appreciate it, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.